there, welcome to March. How we living so far? I cannot believe we're in March 2026 already. I hope you're well. I can't wait to divine for you as per normal. Today I am doing tarot, which I think hits really well for divination in this period of astrology that we're in, which can be tough and just a lot of stuff going on. Tarot and astrology are both incredible divine methodologies to connect to the other and get answers. So, not knocking one or the other. Obviously, every single divinatory methodology and apparatus has its own makeup, literally, materially, what is it made of, and then how the mechanisms behind how the divination actually works and actually connects to these other parallel dimensions that have answers to help us humans live life. Astrology is a complex apparatus. It deals with forces from celestial bodies in our solar system and how they create, affect, and manifest life through their resonance, through the quantum physics, through the angles that they make relative to Earth. And with astrology, it to me is, even though there's always free will and autonomy in anything, thank goodness, including astrology, when you're in an epoch with astrology, you're in an epoch. It's a Saturn epoch, it's a whatever epoch. And it's kind of a giant, complex clock. And in a way, I think we're more bound to the forces that are output, the galactic forces in our solar system. Tarot to me is more personal. It is fully earth formed. It is made of material from Earth, typically paper. Now we got plastic coated, not my favorite thing, plastic, but it doesn't matter. It's like, it's terrestrial 100%. And I think it's more personal. I think it has more autonomy embedded into it. And I also think that even though you can forecast long term with tarot, I do think that it's more ephemeral. I do think that it undulates with the shifts and changes in human life, and it is more immediate. To me, it's kind of like a direct phone line right now. Let's talk to the guides. Let's talk to the other. And it is also built through probability. And so it's like rolling a dice. And that is so wholly different from astrology, which is built in, it's formed, it's a time and date, latitude, longitude, space time. Astrology is more locked in. So I would like a little bit of movement, a little bit more down tempo, low key divination. A little bit of divination goes a long way. So let's pull some tarot cards and see what comes up for all of us, each zodiac sign. I'm going to be doing simple 3-card spreads with a general theme as well for each sign. Aries, let's check out your general theme for the month of March. Wow, Knight of Cups. Ooh, love that for you. This is where you're at in the month of March. This is what you need to focus on, and this is where you're headed. General theme of Knight of Cups is really, really beautiful. It can have romantic implications in a wooing type of vibe or stage of romance where you guys are going out together, where you're ready to progress and take things to the next level. And it's very romantic. it's very poetic, and it's very inspiring. So you have that inspiration to draw from, and potentially straight up love and romance. This can also connect to creativity and creative projects, and or teenagers or adolescents. And if you've got kids, you might be really active with them in that time frame. If you have little babies that you're working on creatively, you're just going to see progress with it. And you are going to make a little headway despite the Hierophant reversed. So where you're at with the Hierophant reversed is wanting to extricate yourself from all of the administrative bullshit that you might be burdened by, bulwarked by, or needing to do. I think that there's, with Knight of Cups as the overall theme for Aries in the month of March, with this, I think that you just want to be free, like this is a period where we all are obligated to do what we have to do. We have obligations and we have things to show up for and stuff like that. But I think you're kind of more in the romantic, creative vibe, and this needs to go. However, the Hierophant reversed, where you are at, indicates that you are making progress on more administrative type of minutia tedium, in a way where you can focus on Six of Wands. Six of Wands is a triumph. I think that overall this spread is very, very acknowledging of your triumph, whatever that means to you. Six of Wands archetypally is parading in the streets after a win, after having overcome something, and is sharing it with the community. Six of Wands is fun. It could be party time, but it's also showing things off and being public about the milestones that you've reached. So bravo. And in terms of periods of time, this is fascinating because Six of Wands is an Aries card, so that's your season. Obviously, in the month of March, we are entering your season, so yay. And I think that via astrology, of course, the sun enters Aries. It's your birthday season. Let's go. And the Hierophant's actually Taurus. But I do think that it is also reflective of 12th house vibes, which happens the month before your birthday in the zodiac sign that the sun is transiting through. That's right before yours, Pisces. And the 12th house vibe is very much like the Hierophant, which is low key, it's tired, it's stuck doing stuff. It's not necessarily bad. I think that there's always a sense of being taken care of and favored by the universe with 12th house transits, 9th house as well. But anyway, long story short, I think you're just entering this really brilliant, fun epoch. Wrap up what you got to wrap up before your birthday season starts at the third week of March. And then we're in this really inspirational, romantic, beautiful, poetic, creative time for you. Then we get to the future where you're headed. Two of Pentacles. And Two of Pentacles is busy. Two of Pentacles is juggling a lot of plates at the same time. I think that it can get frenetic. I think that there are a lot of things to juggle. There's money to be made. There are events to attend. There remains administravia. So the Hierophant actually being Taurus and the Pentacles also being an Earth card, indicates to me that you've got 2 months more of bullshit to do. God bless. It's not always BS, right? But the kind of must be done obligations that take you in all these different directions where you're busy. You really don't have that much free time, as fun as it can be and as much fun as you have. This period of doing all this work and being loaded with obligations and things to do lasts through Taurus season. And that is going to be from April to May. So we've got March, April, May, little bit of admin, lot of romance, lot of inspiration, lot of glam, lots of fun. I think that you should, even with all this stuff going on, you should focus on fun liberation and gloating and potentially a glow up as well. I see glow up in your physical presence, your social community, in your romance, your romantic life, but also in your financial situation. I think that where the tarot once again is acknowledging how far you've come and is basically just clapping your success, even with the tedium that's on your plate. So have a beautiful March, Aries. Really, really looking good. Taurus, the overall theme for you in March is going to be the High Priestess reversed. This is where you're at in March. This is what you need to focus on, and this is where you're headed. The first word that comes to mind when I'm looking at this spread, Taurus, is eventually. And I think that you are in a very, very personal internal processing period right now. You're having Four of Cups, reversed insights, which are things becoming clear. It's access to clarity and insights that and perspectives that are new, feel true, and that broaden your mind and your heart and your spirit. But I think that you're really getting over something. I think that you're getting over a phase, a relationship, an epoch, some major life moment that is no longer there, but that you're still working through, that you're processing through, and that's still resonant on your mind, heart, subconscious. And I think ultimately in stillness, you get answers, and in patience, you get answers. If you have Aries anything, Aries is kind of more moving. You can argue that's an attribute of its zodiac sign all the time, but it's not. Aries still have up and down moments, just like you and I and every other zodiac sign. This is a still month for you. I would invite you to take as much time as you need to be in meditative reflection, whether that is real, literal meditation or just time and space to breathe, think, and feel. That's where all of these insights and this processing of old burdens takes place. Fortunately, 10 of Pentacles looks really, really fire. I think another thing to consider here with this tarot spread for you, Taurus, is that eventually, as a theme, the fact is you don't have to have it figured out all right now. I think by September, which is what this card reflects, it is a Venus in Virgo card, so it's like Virgo season type of thing, and Venus is your ruling planet. It signifies to me that by the end of the summer, September, that's when, in Virgo season, that's when everything comes together. I think that you're financially gonna 100% come together there, feel solid, feel grounded, but you don't feel grounded in March. And so who cares if you don't feel grounded right now? It doesn't matter. More, I mean, perhaps it does matter. I don't want to be diminutive and dismissive. I personally don't believe that life is linear and that it always makes sense. And I have come within the past week, literally, I have come to cherish the epochs in life that are mostly filled with processing and downtime. And even if there's grief involved or some other painful emotions or memories and nostalgia and all that stuff, there's still a beauty in that stillness and in that being and going further and further in and discovering how your heart and your sentiments and emotions work, what's behind it, all the memories from your own life, your ancestors, and so on and so on. Another just general, this is a month where advice is probably best taken from your own intuition and inner knowings. Everybody has advice all the time. And for you, I think that this is a pass to be like acknowledging of external advice, but really trusting your own radar in business, in everything, personal relationships, whatever. It's your instinct that's coming back online in March. And fortunately, you're solid for the future, so you can take this time out. Have a beautiful month, Taurus. Gemini, hello. Welcome to March. Your overall theme for this month is Temperance reversed. Where you're at, Ace of Cups reversed, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. The number one theme here is healing. Temperance, the star. And this is emotional healing, Ace of Cups. This is psychological emotional healing, the star, and spiritual healing. All of those levels of healing are happening right now. I think that there is a development of trust happening with you. It is shifting, it is developing. There's something going on with trust and faith with you as a super developmental arc emotionally and spiritually and psychologically. So any kind of triggers that happen as an entrepreneur, I'm triggered by work all the time because it sometimes feels like a gamble, like it's so crazy, but I know that my work is aligned with my true path and soul's calling. But anyway, as a Gemini rising, there's so much faith put into what I do. That's just one example. I think that you're also the faith in anything, faith in the whole architecture of your whole life, of why things happened in the past, why they're happening presently, why they're going to happen in the future, where all this is bringing you into the future, trusting that things will work out in the future. They will, with Knight of Pentacles there. I think there's another layer of this where you're just frankly getting your bearings. I think that you have gone through a lot of stuff that has rattled you. You can argue that we all do. That's human life. But there's something still resonant and lingering and integrating into an overall lesson. And not just lesson, almost like your crystalline faith aura, your whole construction of what you believe in this world. What you need to focus on is the star, and that is gentleness and healing. And what that looks like, is all forms of spiritual healing, whether that's Reiki or acupuncture. Really, the modality doesn't matter, just as long as it is healing aligned. Baths, oceans, rivers, anything water oriented. or molecular healing of all kinds, even light healing and UV or whatever would be very helpful for you. And it's also a take it easy thing. Like, yeah, actually, the universe does have your back. 100%. Actually, you are fine. And I think that's reinforced too with Knight of Pentacles as where you're headed in the future. You're on solid ground, actually. So you might have been going through some stuff that shifted a lot in you to the depths of your soul, from your psyche to your soul. And at the same time, this is a month where I think you really start to notice that you are indeed all good, that all that has transpired and is transpiring is leading you to the best possible place and manifestation for the arc of your life on this planet. Deep. It's deep stuff. This isn't light material necessarily, even though I do think that there is a quote lightness to it, in that you are dropping weight and processing these epochs and processing these triggers where you don't have faith in what is happening or the outcome. And that could be just like straight up anxiety on some level where we're worried about the future. And so the directive for you, according to the tarot, is to leave it in the God's hands. Leave it in God's hands. Leave it in the goddess's hands. Leave it in the angels' hands. Leave it in all their hands. Chill out. Take care of yourself. You know, go get those medical things that you have to do. Just all the healing that must be done. Take care of it and focus on it and be gentle with yourself and watch how things unfold in the long run. I think that you're going to see manifestations as early as April of the culmination of any efforts that you may have put in to your life, your career, whatever, thus far. Recently, you'll see the culmination of that as early as Taurus season because of Knight of Pentacles. So you might as well take a break. Enjoy your beautiful, restful, hopefully nourishing month, Gemini. Hi, Cancer. So glad to be with you. Let's see what your theme for March is. The Lovers. Okay. Ah. Where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. The first word that comes to mind is ghosting, which is fascinating because there's a little bit of that and there's a little bit of the opposite being in communication and forthright and direct. And I think the tarot is outlining the reality of the dichotomy existing in your space in March, where there are things that are private and secret and happening in the background that's not ready to be shown publicly in any form yet. And then there's also the need to open lines of communication and get the ball rolling. And so I see you being very almost mercurial in March. And I think that you might be working on several things that don't require prying eyes at this time. However, you still got to work on it. So this is very selective in terms of who you talk to. I feel like you can be totally more private and just speak to whom you need to speak to in March. Not everybody needs to know your business this month. However, this is something that's an ongoing situation through May because the Lovers card is Gemini and Gemini solar season starts in May. And I feel like you're tinkering a lot in March with little stuff and you're learning. There's a learning curve going on. I think you're learning information about what you are up to in your life and what you're actually doing, but also about others in your circle, in your community at large, lots of research, lots of data coming in, pouring in. Even with all of this new information, there's something about not knowing what you're doing with the King of Swords reversed here. And this is what you need to focus on. So I find that very curious. I think what this is saying in combination, King of Swords reverse with Seven of Cups in your future, where things are headed, where you're headed. This is saying just take in the information now and don't worry about processing or leveling up with it just yet. Just take it in. You know, we don't need to like necessarily move on all of it. It is just meant to be absorbed right now. And things will become clear, more and more clear as we advance to your birthday season in June, July. This is also about being inspired by the information and by the communication and what's possible. This is an engagement with what's possible and an engagement with learning at a scale that is unique to March 2026 for you. I think that there is the possibility of being annoyed. Like, what the fuck are you trying to tell me? With other people. Obviously, it's Mercury retrograde all month, so that's par for the course here. That's just going to go down for everybody. But for you, I think that there are some bits of information that aren't translating, and that could be annoying. Let it go. You don't need to know that right now, according to the tarot. Just stay in your lane, stay on your game, talk to whom you need to talk to. Keep creating this ongoing project that you're working on and kind of be a nerd, an insular nerd, which I don't think is that hard to do for many of us Cancers. Love the mystery, embrace the mystery. Kind of love this month for you just in terms of all the light bulbs going off for you mentally and all of the learning opportunities and how your mind advances on all of these issues and projects that you're up to. Have a beautiful month, Cancer. Leo, hello there. The overall theme for you in this month of March is Five of Cups reversed, where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. Very fascinating. Okay, overall theme, Five of Cups reversed, is typically the other side of pain or the other side of healing, seeing the bright side finally, and having emotional space and availability after not having that for whatever period of time. I find it very fascinating that your overall theme connects to where you're headed in your future with Eight of Cups. And there's a lot going on here because if I'm looking at what you need to focus on, Ten of Wands, the trinity over here of these cards are very anxiety ridden, potentially issues, things, circumstances that generate emotional pain and anxiety. It's telling you to focus on that. And Ten of Wands is, as advice, would be to offload the burdens that you are carrying. However, you are solid. We have Eight of Pentacles as where you're at, and it just acknowledges that you've done a lot of work already. You've done a lot of real work in your professional life, personal work, which is also real work. You are on solid ground and on solid footing. So this is almost a little jab from the spirits in the universe. Is like, we need you to have more fun. I think this is saying something like you've been working too much. Start offloading stuff and shifting stuff so that you have the emotional space that you need for what is to come. And let's think about what is to come. Eight of Cups and Five of Cups typically deal with grief and loss. all forms, a literal physical death, but also loss of any kind, personal relationships, breakup, loss of a friend, loss of where you once resided. I mean, it's loss of all kinds. You are actually not at loss. You are at Eight of Pentacles, which is fortified. You are an expert, a master at this level. You've been working forever. You're diligent. You're showing up. You've been showing up forever. And you've built something solid. And so there's almost, you don't need to do extra, go so hard. Like, you don't need to be in the Ten of Wands position that the tarot is flagging up for you this month. Let it go. So let go of whatever is burdening you. Literal. You don't need to go to this appointment every month or every week. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. So literal things that are taking up your time and actually adding to any sense of stress, but also figurative and emotional. Let it go burdens, depression, things that have once depressed you and are continuing to depress you. Fuck them. That's basically what the whole month of March, the tarot thing is, or the tarot is directing you to do, is to offload, because there's something about you in the future. Eight of Cups reversed is kind of similar to Five of Cups reversed in that you are no longer depressed, alone, isolated in the future here coming up. And there's something about how you are living that is too triggering, too stressful, that's not aligned with where you're at now and where you're headed shortly into the future. And if you've been single for a while, this could be like, okay, I'm actually ready to date. And then all this other stuff comes up and you're processing it. But maybe the stuff that you're thinking or feeling through isn't actually a barrier and you don't need to stress about it. It's like, don't stress. So obviously, I want to acknowledge life is life and stressors come up and sometimes they are really stressful. So no judgment. And the tarot really does have, it's not totally flippant, but for you, Leo, it really is like, nah, don't stress. You got this. Let it go. We need you to move on to a new emotional epoch. Many, many blessings on your journey into that epoch. Much love, Leo. Virgo, hello. It's so good to see you. Let's see what's going on for you in the month of March. This is your overall theme, 10 of Wands, where you're at, 8 of Cups reverse, what you need to focus on, Queen of Wands, and where you're headed, 8 of Pentacles. This is very, very similar, although I did shuffle. This is very similar to Leo's, but it is different too. I mean, they're saying that 3 of 4 cards are the same as Leo, which I find fascinating, but they're in different positions, so they do have different alternative meanings. For you, what you need to focus on, Queen of Wands is screaming in this spread. What you need to focus on is fun, straight up. Fun, coquette situations, flirtation, art, creation, enjoyment, being the social butterfly, looking fab at a party, rolling through, sexiness, mystique, your inner feline goddess vibe with Queen of Wands. And what we have like surrounding this Queen of Wands focus directive is really none of that. I think that this is a concurrent situation, because concurrent with that feline divine goddess energy is 10 of Wands, which is the opposite of that. It's overburdened, it's stressed, it just wants to get to the finish line. And so I think that that is happening concurrently. You have a lot on your plate. You've got a lot of things to do. You're building something infrastructurally. Eight of Pentacles, that might take a long time to manifest. You're almost there. You're almost to the goals. However, you need to flaunt, have some fun, shake your booty a little bit, go out there and flex and be your sexiest, most savage gorge self. And I think that there's a potential resistance to that with Eight of Cups reversed is where you're at. I think you're open to it, but I think that there could be things coming up for you that's like, I don't have time, or, oh, what? Like going to this party, flexing. What are you tired? Like, I have to do this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's something about maybe wanting to express this more flamboyant and joyous and pleasurable side of yourself that gets hidden beneath obligations that you are compelled to and contracted to fulfill. And I think that you can find a balance. There's no reason why, according to this tarot spread, you can't have one day of feline flex. It's really essential. I think that it shifts the energy, because the energy is coming up as 10 of Wands, which is too much. It's like, oh my God, when is this going to be done? It's all this stuff on your shoulders. It's pressing, it's heavy. You got to push through. With Queen of Wands, having that flair actually makes your projects and these serious things that you're working on manifest better, with more ease, with more joy. Like it's actually helpful for your overall undertakings and your important undertakings. By the way, this is likely, everything that you're working on is likely to come together by August anyway, your season, end of August through September, your birthday season. This is a Virgo card, Mercury in Virgo. And so I think it's basically just telling you to make time for everything. Make time for both. Make time for fun and zest, joie de vivre, flexing, being sexy, getting your groove on, etc. And your obligations, because it's not gonna 100% come together till your birthday anyway. So just make it all work. Find that balance. Really looking forward to your flex time. Have a beautiful March, Virgo. Hi, Libra. So good to see you. So excited to look into your March for you. Let's see what the overall theme for the month is for Libra. That's going to be Page of Pentacles reversed. Where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. Cool. This is good. One thing that comes up is this sensation that there's a deficiency. It's not sufficient. There's not enough. That's going to be with Page of Pentacles reversed and Six of Cups reversed. In the circumstances in your life, I think there could feel like there's some kind of amateur hour going on where things aren't developed enough. It's not where it needs to be, etc. And I also feel like there's just immature stuff happening, and or you feeling immature if you're doing a job transition or a career transition or a business thing or anything like that. It could feel like I have no idea what I'm doing, or this is so nascent and new. Oh my God, my blinders are on. And what you need to focus on as Eight of Pentacles is steady as you go. And also recognize your own expertise. Whether you're dealing with amateur hour in your personal relationships, in family relationships, in all that realm of life, and or in professional realms or health realms, this could be health as well. diagnoses, like what's going on with my body. Eight of Pentacles as what you need to focus on, advice, is definitely steady as you go, keep at it, and it also acknowledges your inborn, inherent expertise and the expertise that you've developed over time just through the living of your life. Basically, you've got this. Basically, you're gonna be triumphant. Six of Wands in your future position guarantees that. I mean, this is going to be super fire and successful. And that's really, really heartening, in my opinion. I love seeing this for you in this confusion stage, in this, oh my God, I feel like a fetus. Like I'm not even a baby, like this is very almost feeling infantile and helpless. With the steady as you go, you will eventually reach the success that you're looking for. Riding a bike, learning how to ride a bike, training wheels eventually come off. You eventually ride the friggin' bike. And that's just the message that apparently the tarot would like to deliver to you. I'm getting, it's okay to take baby steps. I get downloads and channels from spirits when I do tarot. And so here we are. Enjoy this stage of whatever you're at, whatever you're experiencing, because it will be fruitful with your step-by-step approach and baby step approach that you're taking. Have a beautiful month, Libra. Hello, my crustacean friend Scorpio. Really, really great to be with you. Let's see what March has in store for you as your overall theme, according to the tarot. Four of Pentacles reversed, where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. Four of Pentacles reversed is really fascinating because it is offloading something. It could be offloading and or completing debt, perceived debt, but also literal financial debt. It can also speak to some type of health issue that you might have been dealing with for a long time. And finally getting insights in that and reprieve, but it's not all the way there yet. I think that there's a part of you that trusts what's going on, and then there's another part of you that feels stuck. There's so much here because there's a part of you that just wants to let go and be free, and there's a part of you that doesn't. And there's a part of you that literally feels stuck in circumstances. Like you can't, for whatever reason, extricate yourself from the process that you're going through, and you're waiting on stuff. You're waiting on information. You're waiting on, etc. The advice for you, the Fool, would be to liberate yourself from any context that feels repressive for you right now, and that's literal and figurative. The Fool just goes on adventures. The Fool is very Uranian in an astrological sense. It just goes and explores, and it doesn't have a care in the world. So even with the ongoing issues that you're still waiting on a final answer for, the tarot would like you to be fancy free. If you have the opportunity to travel, go travel 100%. Do new things, try new things, even in this epoch. I can see it really clearly, almost like when the light changes during the day and night, when the sun sets and it becomes night. That was day, this is night. I see you in that twilight zone, that transition zone where you can see the days over here and the night is here, but we're still transitioning entirely into that new zone. And the directive with the Fool card here is to play in that zone of uncertainty and to do new things, literally try a new food minimum. But that, I just feel like that's more surface for you. I feel that there is a new frontier for you to enter and explore and see for yourself. There are just other places for you to be. And so don't be restricted by circumstance in this twilight zone. The Fool's also very faith oriented. It's not similar to Temperance and Star card, which are also cards of faith for different reasons. This is more like, oh, I'm jumping off this cliff. I hope there aren't rocks in the water. Fuck it, we'll find out. Jump over the fucking cliff. You know, you'll find out when you get down there, but I promise you, because this is upright, you're likely to be safe. You're likely not to fall on jagged rocks, and that's also reinforced with King of Wands. Whatever this transition is, that I think could be a drag and could be an emotional drag as well. King of Wands in your future position and the Fool card as what you need to focus on. This is such a liberating epoch that's on the way for you, and that you are just on the precipice on. It's liberating, it's creative, it gives you more options. I think you have more options that you're stepping into, that you're engaging with for the first time or seeing for the newly. And in this like really dynamic, vivifying way, trust the universe, of course. I mean, that's kind of just basic, I think, advice at all times, but it's very specific for you right now, Scorpio, as all these new vistas are emerging and you're feeling it. You're feeling the energy. This is electric energy. And I feel like these other cards could connote that, oh, well, I'm not ready to dive into that yet. Or I need to wait for this, this, and that to dive into that. No, you don't. Do it now. Start embracing the newness and the adventure as you approach this epoch. You're about to have a lot of fucking fun and go to new horizons and experience things on a scale that really nourish your vivacity and soul and living and are deeply inspiring and hella fun and creative. Enjoy. Hello, Sagittarius. So good to see you. What's up for you in March? Let's see what the overall theme is. That's going to be 9 of Cups. Fantastic. Where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed, huh? This is a very, very interesting spread. 9 of Cups is typically a fantastic card as your overall theme. There is a lot of benefit to it, but when we look at the totality of the spread, it speaks to actually potentially stretching yourself thin or doing too much. 9 of Cups is amazing, and it can also be luscious to an extreme. For example, 9 of Cups is, we're at the party, we're drinking wine, all is well, the food is plenty, this is a banquet, we're lapping it up, we're lavishing it up. We are experiencing all the joys of our sentient being, everything that we can touch and feel, put it in my mouth, let's go. It's really a really wish come true card. I think that I want to acknowledge that if you are in a space of wish come true, fantastic, and I celebrate that with you. That's amazing. Like, let's keep the party going, let's keep it going. And if we look at the other cards in this spread, where you're at is 7 of Wands, and that is totally misaligned with 9 of Cups. 7 of Wands is in an active battle. This can be literal or figurative in that there might be too much emphasis on 9 of Cups reality and not enough emphasis on Seven of Cups, what you need to do, what you need to get across the finish line. And that's a case of potentially partying too much and not doing what you need to do. And or it could be the total reverse for you, Sagittarius, where you are not doing enough enjoyment and you're just stuck in this fight or flight mode, in this fight survival mode. And what you need to focus on, Two of Cups reversed with Six of Wands reverse, is fascinating on a very personal level. If you were asking about a relationship, it would suggest that the relationship, your romance, is sucking up. It's like an energy vampire type of situation where it's sucking up too much of your time and energy and or desiccating your emotional resources, and like it would invite you to take a step back from that relationship. Now, this is romantic, and this could also potentially be any kind of other relationship, but Two of Cups is typically just straight up romantic. I feel like what the tarot is advising you to do in the month of March is to take off rose-colored glasses and see what is actually going on. See what's actually sucking up your emotional and creative fuel. Is it worth it? Is it worth fighting for? There's a lot of pleasure happening too. So, I mean, I feel like so many things in life are addictive. Food, cigarettes, whatever. Like drugs can be awful, of course, but there's other things that are addictive too. Having sex, being with other people, being with friends, going to the club, going to the library if you're a nerd. I don't care what it is. I'm a nerd. I wish I were at the library. So I'm just saying, this is speaking to things that are pleasurable that may have gone too far and that is now creating a potential crisis or a problem in your life that needs to be solved. I think also this is a very fascinating reading because this is very much tied to Jupiter in Cancer, which lasts until the end of June, July, because Nine of Cups is Jupiter in Cancer. And that hits your 8th house and your natural 8th house. And a lot of this has to do with that. Like 8th house can feel spongy. 8th house is this emotional process or higher force transmutation process that isn't necessarily always clear, but it affects your energy levels, it affects your output, and it affects the things that you're up to in your life. If you're around too many vibe vamps, even if they appear pleasurable, it could be fucking up some other area of your life. That's what happens with 8th house transits. And so I feel like the tarot is inviting you in March to shore things up, plug in the holes in the boat that you see and that you're experiencing, and find the time to do that, because they are indeed causing more stressors and more blood sucking and energy sucking than is necessary for your life. And you've got until June to really get down to that, but the focus starts in March. Much love with these pursuits. Thank you so much, Sag. Hey, Capricorn, let's see what March has in store for you. According to the tarot, your overall theme for the month is Page of Wands, where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. There's a lot of stress and anxiety and potentially overthinking present in this tarot spread with 7 of Swords and 8 of Swords. I really feel like there is so much fear going on for you, Capricorn, in a way. And you are in a learning curve, learning experience as Page of Wands, being your overall theme for March. That's what Page of Wands does. It learns. All pages learn. But Page of Wands, I think, is particularly just in it, just in the mix, visceral learning on the go in the present. And there's a directive in a way for you to just dive in and not overthink it. I think there could be things looming like papers to turn in or some type of legal process or some type of administrative obligation or professional obligation or whatever obligation that's kind of similar in weight, like something legal, like signing a contract, that is driving you crazy potentially. In terms of what you need to focus on, Seven of Swords, it's very much focused on your mental health and your personal mental health, period, above all. That's just going to be the ruling thing. And it also is this issue of trusting the unknown with Eight of Swords as your future, where you're headed. You don't know where you're headed. Who cares if you know? I mean, you don't need to know. You don't need to know. Just be in the experience. It's really, I don't even know if there's more to it than that in your divination for the month of March. I feel like the spirits are being very, very to the point and punchy with you because they don't want you to worry about all the details and however things land and what goes into place and blah, 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 and you in it and blah, blah. It just causes so much stress and the mind and brain and overthinking to explode. And it's just not necessary. And some of this is not for you to know right now anyway. The knowledge wouldn't help you anyway, according to the tarot. I feel that also there is an issue of deceit. Perhaps you're expecting deceit or expecting some foul shit to go down, and you are mentally preparing yourself for that to happen. And again, the tarot is providing space. Use your wits. I mean, if you see this coming a mile away, good for you. It's amazing that you're able to see that coming. And it hasn't happened till it happens. And there's something about being present and just being in the process and relieving any of the worry and anxiety or thoughts about what is impending and looming and just be in the moment. I hope this was helpful for you, Capricorn. Much love. You've got this. See you soon. Hello, Aquarian. How are you, Aquarius? So excited to see what March has in store for you. Let's look at the overall theme for your month, which is going to be Wheel of Fortune. Amazing. Where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. This is cool. I think that there's so many implications in the spread. You are experiencing a huge shift in your personal life, your social life, your family life. There could be a welcoming situation, a new relative, a new best friend, a new social group coming in. It's the end and the beginning of a new epoch. And it's beautiful and emotionally nourishing and satisfying. And there could be a sense of being impotent to deal with this level of change and not knowing how to lead in a situation or take the reins. And I think by the end of the month, you'll have more facility and faculty with that in terms of what you need to focus on. The Emperor is Aries. Aries season starts at the end of March. And that's when I think things come together. And also, though, this is very much a time period in March where other people have a huge effect on yourself and your reality. And there could be situations where people aren't feeling heard, whether that's yourself or someone in your milieu. that you have a relationship with, and there's just not clarity on how to proceed. And one thing with the Wheel of Fortune being your overall theme is allowing divine time and divinity to step in. Wheel of Fortune is Jupiter, and in tarot archetypally, it typically speaks to the hand of God just coming in and shifting you in a different direction. And that is actively happening right now. And so leadership, I think, doesn't, even if it's not outwardly manifesting until end of March, April, there's something about you checking your ego now and just seeing what's going on for you before you step into this new leadership role. Queen of Cups reversed as your future, I think, aligns with the Emperor reversed in that Queen of Cups reversed really doesn't necessarily see where this is going. This whole big picture, obviously, this is a new chapter. That might be obvious. But how it impacts your immediate milieu, everyone involved in your personal life, you don't know. You don't know the man or woman, person you're supposed to be. You just don't know. And you don't know how other people are going to react to you or what your relationship is going to be. And I think that the tarot is telling you just to enjoy it now and don't worry about who you need to be. Literally, be 10 of Cups. Be in that zone of emotional nourishment and equity. That's what 10 of Cups is. 10 of Cups is a supportive circle. And as you guys are figuring out how to support each other newly in your relationship, it's fine not to take the lead and let others take the lead and let the gods take the lead and just see how circumstances shift naturally and to enjoy the moment, the good times with your people now. Aquarius, have a beautiful month. Hello there, Pisces. Let's see what March has in store for you, my friend. Your overall theme of the month is Seven of Cups reversed, where you're at, what you need to focus on, and where you're headed. A word that comes up immediately looking at the spread is meh, bleh, 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 bleh. Like, it's just like, oh my God, there is very little interest in doing all the things, in hearing all the things, in being all the things, potentially even building all the things. So, as an American, our society is just so based on career and working. And this is just like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care about career working. There is a sense of adventure and just being free, just wanting freedom and focusing on freedom. And that's really what the divination is inviting you to do. It is inviting you to be as free as possible in terms of the Fool being what you need to focus on, your advice card. It's, I mean, this is fun. I am so wishing I were Pisces right now, in that that is what to invest in. Even if you have all the obligations that you possibly can have, that a human possibly can have, even within that zone of obligation, freedom at all costs. Freedom, freedom, freedom. Going home early, drinking tea at the desk or whenever you want, chewing gum. Even the word desk feels oppressive to me as I'm looking at this spread. So if you're able to take a vacation, wonderful, take a vacation. But I think also this is an acknowledgement of you reaching an era in your life of pure personal freedom, whatever that looks like to you, whether you're already there and or wanting it. I really think that overall this spread is very an acknowledging spread, an acknowledgement of the burdens that you have overcome over time, and being like, yeah, have the space to do nothing and or do what you want to do now. March is only 1 month. We all got to do what we got to do. I personally never want to leave things by the wayside in flux and things like that. But for you, things go by the wayside. I really don't think that the tarot cares that much. If you are liberated from it, if you are liberated by it, and you are able to do and move the way that you want and need to move in any given moment, that is the priority. Sounds nice to me. Enjoy your month, Pisces.